the SoCal Summer Swing Out podcast. The music you are currently listening to is called Dances in the Night by Papa D, a fellow swing dancer, musician, artist, and friend. You can find all links for streaming, socials, and videos down below. Make sure to go and support him. Now let's get into the episode. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the SoCal Summer Swing Up podcast. I'm your host, Andre, and I am joined by a homie of mine today, and that is Benny White. What's up, my guy?
What's up, my Andre, my guy, my dude, my Rakato Malala?
This is actually really cool that we finally get to do this because it's taken a minute. We've been trying to schedule this for a while, so I'm really happy that we're doing this right now.
Yes, same. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Now, oh yeah, man. Thanks so much for being willing to come on. Even after last weekend when we had that wild uh prom swing prom,
Swing prom?
right?
Oh
Yeah,
my
that
gosh,
was that was that was a really fun time.
yeah. I'm lucky. I got this nice place because now I'm just like, okay, let's have parties, and
Yeah, and it was
that was
one
cool
for the
because
books.
the ladies were like, let's do something where we get to dress up and be super fancy, and then everybody else wants to dress up, and prom was like a perfect idea. Um,
Mm.
and holy crap, the amount of effort that it takes to host an event,
Uh-huh.
because that was literally an event, like how much work we put into it.
Oh
um
my
we're
gosh.
like, do we want to do this again? I don't know, but I mean, everybody loved it, but holy crap, event
Oh yeah,
planning.
I mean, yeah. It was the decorations were worth it though. I gotta say, the amount of work that everyone put in, it was very evident. And you did
I,
such a great job hosting.
I mean, yeah, if you need a team of helpers for SoCal Summer Swing Out, which you will need, you always need help
Yeah,
running an event.
I'm definitely not doing that alone. From the time that I was
Good.
oh yeah, because you and I have that similar. Neither of us is originally from California.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
True. Yeah.
yeah, when I was in Indiana, I had people that helped me out for the events that were out there. But you
Nice.
were in North Carolina for a while, right?
I was south of it. South
South
Carolina.
Carolina.
Yeah, I was in South Carolina, Greenville, South Carolina, and I was I guess we were doing kind of the same thing because I was running my scene. Because we're, it's
Mm-hmm.
like back home, it's like a little tiny scene. You run like a 30 people a week dance, which was good. Like that's awesome to have in a small town.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
roughly 30. And then I was helping host my local Greenville Indie Exchange, and that's a lot of work. Mhm.
Dude, you were I had my eyeballs on that for years before I even moved out here. Yeah.
DVLX?
Dude, I'm pretty sure I saw your
Ah,
name on the description
oh
too. And
yeah.
I was like, oh, who's this guy? You know?
Yeah, dude. Oh, GPLX was awesome. I think my favorite, just since we're talking about it, my favorite was, I think, GVLX 7 may have been the one that I put on. It's only my favorite because I was hosting it, but
Uh-huh.
I did we did a battle of the bands. And so we
Mm.
had two bands. One, oh my gosh, this is so long ago. I should have done my research so I can remember everybody's names. Um, Jason Knight, his band, I think he's from Alabama.
Uh-huh.
This is way back when. Um, so he had a band, and then there was another one, 55 Supreme. I don't know. They were like Virginia. Anyways, so the two of them had the two band leaders, Matt Fatal, maybe, I think was his name.
Mm-hmm.
They had previously worked together, did some gigs together. And I connected them and I was like, would you guys be interested? And they're like, yeah, we've okay. And then they just started shooting ideas in a Facebook chat. I have to go look at
Uh-huh.
that Facebook chat and find it. But yeah, they were like, we're game. Let's do it. It's gonna be a blast. And it was just nonstop, no DJ. You just had band. And then we brought them back in for a finale, like a finale set.
Uh-huh.
And it was just phenomenal. And they did my favorite part of the night was the last song. They're hitting it, and then they're like, let's go into the crowd and play around. And whenever somebody
Uh,
does that, I'm just like, you guys are killing it. It's just, it was so fun. I think wait, what was it? 405 Supreme? I'll have to look up those bands. 504 Supreme, maybe.
Now,
Virginia,
you
somewhere. It was great.
yeah, I totally didn't know that you were a scene leader in Greenville, but is that where you started learning how to dance, or where did that begin?
Yeah, it was back there in Greenville, Clemson. When I was, at my college, they had swing dancing, but I think I
Hmm.
had a girlfriend at the time, 2010, 2011, who introduced me into dancing.
Hmm.
And I kind of just was like hot and cold about it until like I made a friend, Will Brown. I think he's in Charleston now, but he was a student at Clemson that was just gung ho about dancing. And so like whenever there's somebody, or he was like, he's a historian buff too. So he was like, he loved the history and just watching old tape and learning about all of it. And so he got everybody else excited about it. Um, so he actually kind of, you know, built my interest and love for dancing
Hmm. Hmm.
after finding it. And then because he would go to a dance event and then he'd be like, bro, you gotta go. And I'm like, I don't know, I don't feel like it. And he's like, don't worry, we can carpool, I'll drive, you don't have to pay gas. He was that guy. He's like that little like,
Hmm.
there's always somebody that's like a spark that gets everybody
Hmm.
else in and gets everybody
Yeah.
else fired up. And he was like that spark. So he was just like full carpool every week, going to like weekly, driving 45 minutes to Greenville from Clemson, and and then we started traveling and going around Southeast doing all the events, and I was hooked. My first travel weekend that had me sold. I was like, this is so much fun, meeting so many fun new people, just having a freaking blast.
What was your first event?
Savannah, Georgia. They ran. It was like a student run event, and they just had classes and dancing. Savannah swing out? No, something there. It's something.
In Georgia.
Yeah,
Okay,
but it was like,
gotcha.
how events can be pretty pricey. And so as a college
Mm-hmm,
student,
hmm.
you're always like, I don't know, this is a little too pricey. $100, that's insane. There's no way.
Yeah.
And that event was like, because it was student run and because they had a student organization that was getting funding, like the school
Hmm.
actually funded them to host an event. I mean, it was super cheap, and then people hosted us to stay at their place. Um, was it like a $40 event?
Oh, that's cheap. Holy
Right?
shit.
It was something like that where I was like, okay, as a student, or I'm like, I can afford this. But now I
Okay, so that
scoff. I'm
was
like, there no, you've never heard of a $40 event. That's insane for a whole weekend.
no,
Minimum
those days are
100.
gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, those days are gone. I was gonna say, because I remember going to events in the Midwest and it was like, what, $50 for an exchange, 75 if it was a workshop, or even 80. I was like,
Uh-huh.
oh man. And back then
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's so expensive. And now
Yeah.
being here, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. Yeah. Minimum $100 minimum. 150
Yeah.
maybe. It's getting pricey.
Now, in terms of like, if that was your first event, what year was this? 2011?
2011, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. And then when, so when in that
Yeah.
time frame when you started dancing there, when did you start like actually competing?
Oh, uh, it was maybe a year in. So I started traveling, and there were contests, like you do a mix and match or something. Um, and so I would just jump into the amateur mix and match and not really care. But it was maybe a year in that I had like my moment of horror, pure terror and horror and disgust at my own dancing. When you
Oh,
watch
really?
you watch your first contest video and you're like,
Uh,
what am I doing with my body? And it was brutal, like watching that. But after that, that's when I was like, no, I want to be good. I want to practice. I want to get good. Because I did this funny thing where I really like blues dancing and I really
mhm.
like shaking and moving my hips.
Yeah.
And I brought that to my Lindy, And then I go back and watch. I have this one, the first video of me competing. I watch it and I just cringe, and I'm like, "What am I doing? Why am I doing that?" It was pretty harsh on myself, but um, that kind of that spurred me. That spurred me on. That was like my moment of like, no, I'm gonna kick ass. And like 6 months later, I like made my first finals because I was
Mm,
just like, I want to be good. I want to be great.
yeah,
You watch
yeah,
all those videos and get inspired, and that kind of gave me the boost that I wanted and needed.
yeah. Because like you've done. We'll get into this later, but like the past couple of years, you just skyrocketed on the podiums. Internationally, actually, not just countrywide, internationally. Which
Oh
I
yeah.
want to talk about that later. About the
Oh yeah.
shag and bow thing, because
Oh
I
yeah.
remember
Yeah.
distinctly when you're asking Bert like, oh, how do you do the shag basic? And then like months later, you go win something in like Austria or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's
But
crazy.
we'll talk about that here in a bit. Now, one thing I did want to talk about since we're
Okay.
talking about like your dance origins is you have a very distinct Benny style. Like I
Yeah.
can pick you
Oh.
out. I can pick you
Oh.
out if there's like if you're you know how the silhouette, if there's a silhouette and
Yeah.
you're dancing with someone,
Uh-huh.
I'd be like, that's Benny. That's
Oh.
exactly Benny.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I have this thing where sometimes I'll play a game if I'm dancing with like Laura or Nadia, and
Uh,
then I'll do like, okay, who's this? And then I do, Paul's thing where he goes shupa, right? That
always
little jump thing. Yeah,
five
that's a
or six.
that's a Paul. Yeah, he
Uh-huh.
does it on the five and a half or something like that.
It's 5, 6. Uh-huh.
Yeah, 5, 6, yeah.
The
And
Paul
then for
six, I think we were
you,
calling it.
yeah, for you, you changed it. But before you always used to do the toe point, the leg extend toe point, and then put your head down like that.
Wait, what?
You know what I'm talking about, right? Like when you're
No.
dancing.
When?
Yeah,
Okay.
bro.
When?
Anyone, anyone, anyone
What?
who's like listening that dances with you, right? At some point, you'll do this like toe point, and like your head goes down, and like a stylish like not like I'm not doing it right, but it's like
Uh,
a stylish thing, you know.
is it? Do you know what count it's on?
I don't. I just know that you use it to end a phrase at times.
A
You know,
7?
a seven, yeah, 7, 8, I think it is. But like your style is very distinct because you hit everything and stuff in between. Like you accent a lot of stuff. And I was curious, like where you learned that? Where'd you pick that up?
Yeah. Oh, I would say it's probably my musical background,
Mm,
just playing piano since I was like a baby. Um, and so I did, classical music. Yeah, I played classically, and then eventually, you know how or I don't know if you've done it, but like there's always a guitar at like college parties. So back in
mm-hmm,
college, I started picking up guitars and learning some chords and stuff. And then around the same time in college, Rock Band came out, and I picked up a drum set, and then I actually bought a drum set after that and started playing. And then I like, joined a band, and that they didn't go anywhere. We just like a college band, but
uh,
I think my musical background kind of plays into that. So everything that I'm hearing, um, I'm latching on to like I don't know, the juiciest, the most fun riff or musical
mm-hmm,
uh thing that's just whatever is that prominent musical voice in a song.
mm-hmm,
Um, I just want to hit it.
mm,
And if I'm hitting more stuff, I guess I would still relate it to playing a musical instrument. If I'm hitting more stuff, then it's just me wanting to like da 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 da. Like I'm just trying to play with all of it because it's so yummy to it's so yummy to the ear, and I want to put it in my body because I actually like it's funny. I don't like to play music anymore
mm,
because moving my body to music is so much more fun than the actual act of playing music.
mm,
And it was just like it was like I've always been a musician that's like when I play the piano or when I play the drums or when I play the guitar, I'm always like my body's always wanting to be in it.
mm.
And so like once I found once I found dance, I kind of just dropped music. I still have a electric keyboard because I was like, but I love music, and I don't, I play that once a year. I have a guitar. I also play that once a year. It's like rare because dancing is so much fun and just feels
Yeah.
so good.
So then, but that music background really gave you like the tools in order to express the music the way you do now.
Yeah,
And
I'd say
so,
so. Hmm.
so then when you compete, are you like using the music as like, all right, that's my central point, and then my movement comes second, or what's your thought process
Oh,
when you're doing that?
oh, competing, like you say, like mix and match, or just any competing, like when I'm listening to the music and
Ooh, that's a good distinction because if it's just
how,
mix and match, it's different from like if you're dancing with, let's say, like Joanna or Nadia, who we but like we understand how they dance and whatnot. Let's say
yeah,
mix and match because that's we'll talk about
uh-huh.
that later. Yeah.
Yeah, mix and match is totally, it's a night and day, and from like Strictly's and anything. But when I go into a mix and match, like I'm I'm just social dancing. And I've done this, like I think what I practice is my social dancing is the same as my, prelim mix and match competition dancing. Like it's all just,
Hmm.
they're the same thing to me. And all the I go for fun and playful moments as my like power moves to hit, because I don't do
Hmm.
anything. I wouldn't say I do intricate stuff. Like I learn stuff over time, and maybe like, like I level up as in like, oh, the Texas Tommy has now become part of my like dancing, but I'm never like consciously like, I'm gonna make a Texas Tommy happen. I'm just like, I'm feeling the music, I'm feeling the connection with my partner, and I'm having fun and playing with it.
Mm.
Um, but I don't know, it's weird. It's a weird mix of where my focus is. Like it's just a big jumbly mess of like I'm either listening to the music, or maybe I caught a moment of surprise when like my partner did something and then I want to echo it or play back at it, or um I just maybe in the song there's this, I feel a climax humming of like a trumpet, like da 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 da, and I want to hit
Hmm.
like the ending note, or I even want to play with it going up. um it's all just, I don't know, my brain is just processing all of that all at once and just choosing which one it wants to hit.
Nice. Okay. I
Is that a good
mean,
answer?
no. It's a great answer because I do feel like some people are the opposite, where they think less about the music and they think more about the I want to hit this. I don't care what the music says,
They want to
you
make
know?
something happen.
Yeah. Whereas I feel like you are very intentional with what you do when in such a way that expresses the music really well, which I think is one of the reasons why you do so well in comps. Is like you have such a good musical ear and you
Mm,
look good expressing it, you know?
mm. Yeah, and I think, yeah, that's totally my goal, because that's when I watch somebody dance, that's what I like to see. I want to see, my favorite, anytime I'm watching a clip, my favorite clip to watch is the people dancing that you can't tell if the song was written to them dancing. It's like, or what, like
Mm-hmm.
it
Mm-hmm.
just, they interweave it so well, and they look like they're like, did they? And then you have the question of like, do they know the song? And so
Mm-hmm.
my favorite thing, like, is going into a prelims, never having heard the song, and then the song just hits me, and I'm like, I have this song. And there's one
Mm.
that happened in one contest, um, uh, in a mix and match, and I got lucky because I drew my partner at the time, Danny, and it was Castle Rock, Johnny
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hodges. It's that really funky, like, and they're just doing some weird shit in that song. And for
Uh-huh.
some reason, it just like clicked on, and I just had a fucking party. Um,
Yeah.
and so like I'll go back there. Those are the videos that I love to watch whenever. the people dancing are just so in tune with the song that you don't know if the song was written before them or if it was if they're playing it live. I don't know. It's like that's the magic for me.
Mm-hmm.
When you're like, there's no way they don't know that song, but they may have never heard of that song. It's just that's just them listening to the music so well and playing together so well. Yeah.
Yeah, and it just works.
Yeah.
It just works. And I feel like you express that really well in your style. And I feel like that kind of had a big impact on your life, right? Because when you were dancing on the East Coast, eventually your dancing got you to move out here, right?
Yeah. 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 You
So,
want the long story or the short story?
hey man, it's your podcast. So, why don't you give us the medium story? Let's do that.
Okay, I can try for medium. The medium story. Yeah. Yeah, I was just dancing on the East Coast, traveling up and down, and then every once in a while traveling like a bit further out. Like I went to Lindy on the Rocks once. I went down to Swing Break, Mexico. Phenomenal. I wish that event was
Mm,
still going. It's so good. It was so good. Um, Even out to Europe, I went to Lindylicious in Paris once. Um, so I was dancing on the East Coast and eventually oh, what got me out here? I was taking a break from dancing that
mm,
kind of got me out here. It wasn't 100% my dancing. So I took a break from dancing. This game called Beat Saber came out and I started mapping in the community because I loved it so much. It was a rhythm
mm,
game.
mm-hmm,
Um and eventually just mapping so much, I became like a household name in the Beat Saber community, and then that kind of launched me and propelled me out here to LA because I got a job opportunity at a startup to essentially do like rhythm game maps kind of thing.
mm-hmm.
And so then I've been here ever since, like doing that stuff because it's. I mean, do you love rhythm games?
I do, but I'm very bad at it.
Oh, are you? Oh, I'm yeah, I absolutely love. I played DDR. I played, um, Jesus, everything I could think of. Guitar Hero, Rock Band, a little bit of Osu. All those kind of just anything that was rhythms. I was enjoying it, and then, yeah, Beat Saber is just one of my favorites, and it just came out, and I was just like blown away by how fun it was because it was like sword fighting, but as a rhythm game, and I felt like a super ninja
Mm.
or a Jedi. So
Yeah.
that kind of propelled me out here. And I was like before I came out here, I was thinking about doing like I don't know what you call these, but when you go to another country and you stay and learn and teach, I was
Mm-hmm.
gonna go do like a s- I want to call it study
Seminar or
abroad,
yeah, yeah.
but they had like they had an opportunity for me and I was thinking about doing that of like going to Mexico teaching and then staying at their they had
A residency.
a residency. They had a yeah, they
Yeah.
had a dance hall combo with residency and I could like, live there and teach there. Um
Mm-hmm.
for free. And they would pay me, I think. But so I was thinking about doing that. I was trying to figure out what I want to do in my life because I was 7 years a graphic designer. And then the Beat Saber thing came out and propelled me out here. And then when I got out here, I was like, oh shit, the dancing out here. Um, and and then I was hooked again.
2.0.
Yeah, yeah, I love it. It's like your journey, and you just like there's always like there's a next big step, and you're like, I don't know how well this is going to do, but I'm going to take this next big step because I'm already tired, and I'm satiated with my previous. It was like big fish, little pond back home kind of thing, and I was like,
Yeah.
I want to do something bigger, and then and I got lucky AF to get out here, and then have the opportunity of living in SoCal and having so much yummy dancing at my fingertips.
I mean, dude, when was it? When did you move out here?
2018, October,
Oh, okay.
pre-pandemic.
Gotcha. Yeah. And so when you moved out here, you said it was in the middle of you taking a break, right? So between 2016, 2018, you just took a break and didn't dance very much, right?
What 2017, I was falling out. I was having my leg. Oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then when you came
my
out
dance
here, it
funk.
got, yeah, your dance funk. And when you came out here, you got reinvigorated and you're like, yeah, the dancing here is pretty tight. And then you started dancing a lot more and getting back into it. Yeah.
Well, no, I would say I was so it's just a whole funny set of coincidences, a whole funny set of experiences or whatever happened. So I got out here in the dance funk and I'd like started doing a little bit of dancing and I was like, okay, cool, just meeting some people. But it didn't click. Like it wasn't back yet. And I was
Mm,
focused on work. And so like by the time I got like comfortable with work and then I started getting into dancing, then the pandemic hit. And then just kind of like it was like another break, you know. And then I would say it was coming out of the pandemic that reinvigorated me because of all the I don't what was it? Just being lonely. Just like not, the pandemic was tough for everybody and that was mine was like I'm like, the pandemic started, I was like, I'll be fine. I love video games. I sit at home all day and play video games anyways. And then I realized how much like impact work social life was important for me. I was like, that's my social life. Not only like I'll do
mm,
some dancing outside, but your coworkers and chatting with them um, and like sometimes going out to lunch with them. Like that was big. I was like, wow, I can't believe oh. And so like I think, yeah, pandemic kind of hit me hard. And then coming out of pandemic, it was like I was like, nope, I need people in my life. I need to have social experiences. I need to have fun. And, I also got a cat. And I think
mm.
Amadeus was great.
Amadeus. Yeah.
He's back there asleep on the couch. Uh, he was, yeah, great for like socializing. And, but then coming out of pandemic, that's when I really got like the bug. Maybe actually, you know what it was? I mean, it's kind of like I can actually attribute it to people because like it's the spark. So the same
Hmm.
spark that I was lucky enough to find my friend Will Brown back home. And he got me into dancing. He actually was a collegiate shagger. He actually loves
Oh.
collegiate shag out there on the East Coast. And he would go to like Texas and dance with like Amanda Pincock. And he would bring shag back. And I'm just like, what is that? That's too much. It's too much effort. Ugh. And then I think getting out here, the spark was kind of you know what it was? It was Atomic's contest, triple threat.
Mm.
That contest, I was like, I want to do this because that would just be cool to learn these other dances. And then I started training with Ioana and we did,
Mm.
and she taught me how to shag
Oh.
and bow. Was she teaching? Yeah. So that kind of started it. And like, yeah, we showed up and like we did the thing. And I was like, okay, this isn't so bad. But like, you still haven't learned shag, have you? Or you don't love shag yet, right? Shag's not your. I'm sorry. I just love shag. Yeah. Um, no, it takes so it's hard. It's Shag's a funny creature. Because I don't know, it's just different. Every dance is different and has its own style, and you have to find what makes you love it. And so shag took a minute, but yeah, it was yeah. Yeah. So I did the triple threat
Hmm.
with Ioana, and then shag was kind of like on my radar then. And then I started dancing like with Jungle and Bianca, and then I was like I was in. I was like this is cool. And then, took it to Camp Hollywood, and to my surprise, I got alternate. in the shag mix and match.
After doing what, shag for a couple months?
I don't know. When was the atomic thing?
I
That
don't
was
know.
it was like probably when I don't know. I can't timeline is really hard to tell, but it's like under 2 years. It's like a year and a half of like
Mm.
dancing shag. But so I started dancing shag, danced with Iwana, then I went to Camp Hollywood, somehow made shag mix and match alternate, and then somebody dropped and they bumped me in the
Mm.
finals, and I got paired with like Mosa Khan, and I'm like, this
Mm.
is insanity. Like, what am I doing here? There's no reason, like I shouldn't be here. It was such a huge imposter syndrome. But I don't know. I think shag must be one of those things that I naturally look good at, or
Mm.
when people watch me dance it, because even I was telling somebody about this earlier, but Steve, I even got a compliment from Steve Sayer, and I was like, "What the fuck? What is this?" Like, we were in class at Camp Hollywood. I was taking this class with him, me, and Bianca, and Steve Sayer. Like, I went up to talk to him. I introduced myself, and he's like, I can't remember what he said, but pretty much it was like, "Who the fuck are you? Where'd you come from?" Like, what's this shag? Shag. Like, it was the funniest, like, kind of, because Steve, he's
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
awesome. I just love how he's just like, the fuck. And
yeah.
that made me feel really good. I was like, what? Really? Me? And then making shag mix and match finals was just like, I was like, Steve did this. He put me in here. I'm not ready for this. So, but I feel like it's always fun to have that, and it always feels good. And so, but it makes me want to do better. Like, I want to keep pushing my shag, keep working on my shag, and like just get good and show up,
Yeah.
have fun. So
Yeah, I want to dig into that a little bit more. After you saw that triple threat competition, then you were like, "Oh, hey, I would really like to do this." Um, you had a 2.0 kind of like revival where you're like, "Oh, I would love to get into Balboa shag and
yeah,
Lindyhop and essentially become like a triple threat, a
yeah,
Californian triple threat."
mm, yeah. That was that. I love having goals, and I've always just, over my whole dance career, it's been goals. So like, when I first started competing mix and matches, I'm like, I just want to make finals. And then eventually started, making finals. And then I'm like, okay, what's my next goal? I want to start like winning and placing. And then after doing that, and then I'm like, what's next? And I got into like team comp and team choreography, because I had like, such a great event called The Process way back when.
Mm-hmm.
And they just had they had phenomenal classes, and I took this one class from Casey and Faltasek. I think they're from Seattle. I can't remember.
Yeah, yeah.
Faulty and the Defects, and Casey, Faulty and Casey. And I, they gave me the bug because they taught a class on how to choreograph and how to, write out your eights to music. And then I started choreographing and doing like solo jazz comps, um and team, or I would do spotlights. So I started doing my own solo spotlights, and then I started doing team comps. And you know, but then I think that, and then right around there, I took my break, and then coming back into it now, I'm just like reinvigorated, and seeing the triple threat, I'm like, this is my next goal, and then like, but there's, oh my gosh, coming out here and going to my first Camp Hollywood was last year.
Oh,
So
what? Wait, really?
yeah, I've just never been out
Oh.
here. I've always been, I've been East Coast boy. So ILHC was like the big one. And
Uh-huh.
I did a Strictly out there with a friend, and we made finals, me and Mimi Lou.
Yeah.
Um, I think that was the AM or the Open Strictly. Um, but like, it's really hard to train for a dance event whenever you're so far out of the way from everybody
Mm,
else. And so
mm-hmm.
that's why I'm like being here in SoCal, it's like, okay, there's like a plethora of people I can ask to partner with, and we can actually practice and meet up. It's so easy to meet up. It's 45 minutes and you could, dance for 2-3 hours and you get a whole great dance practice. But
Yeah.
yeah, so now I just have too many goals and they're all exciting. But my biggest goal is to be known as a triple threat. I want to be I want to be a triple threat where people are like, I don't know his main dance because he's good at every one of them and he looks so distinctly Lindy or so distinctly Shag or Balboa that I can't tell what he dances. I honestly, what's his favorite? I don't know. Like that's my kind of that's my end goal as like a triple threat.
Gotcha. Now, speaking of triple threat, you recently went to Austria and you had done shag for a while, and
Year and a
they
half
had,
maybe.
yeah, and then they had a shag and yeah, a shag and a Balboa comp where you had to do shag in one and then Balboa in the other, right?
No, you had to do both in the same
At the same
song.
time?
You had to do both in the same. You had two spotlights. One was 16/8, one was 8/8, and you had to fit in both Shag and Bow in them.
Ugh. Oh
Crazy.
damn.
It was just
Okay.
it was a wild set of rules. I was like, oh yeah, are we gonna have like first we're gonna do our Shag spotlights, then we're gonna do our Balboa spotlights, and they're like, nah, do it all at the same time, and you pick and choose.
Uh,
So you basically some of the classes that we took were how to transition between bow and shag. Where are moments that feel right to transition? And so, you'll hit a pause in like you're dancing Balboa, da 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 da, do some rotation, you hit a pause, and then you hike it and you jump into
banana.
it. So it was scary actually doing a contest where you have to choose when in the music to change and jump.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And like for that one, you won, right?
Yeah, that was a mixing match, and I won it with my partner, and I can't remember her. I'm so bad with names.
Yeah, it's all good. You dance with a lot of people. That's the thing with dancers, right? You meet a ton of people, and every time you see them again, you're like, "Hey, what's your name one more time?" I feel like it's a norm here.
Yeah,
Um, but
yeah,
then,
totally.
so then, where are you competing moving forward? Are you going to be doing Shag, Balboa, and Lindy Hop at Camp Hollywood?
Yeah, I'm doing it all anywhere anywhere I go. I kind of prefer events if they have contests with both, and if they don't, if it's just like a only this or only that, I'm kind of like, I don't do I really want to go? Like if it's only a
Uh,
Lindy weekend or if it's only like I wasn't sure about ILHC, but they also have solo jazz. And so I was like, okay, I can test my metal at both of those, which I made open solo jazz finals, right? Or was it amateur? I think it was open. It's crazy. I don't know why they put me in. They shouldn't. I haven't been practicing my solo jazz. But I love to I think challenge myself in contests and just try to cast the net wide and just
hmm
just see how I do. And that's so I want to say I'm taking like triple threat seriously. Like I want to do it all and I want to be good at it all.
mm-hmm.
That's my
Now,
goal.
is the goal to become professional and travel and teach for it, or are you just focused on the competition piece?
Oh yeah, I don't think I want to teach. I think I just want to show up, have a contest and just like have so much fun. I want to do what like all of those pros do for me and
hmm
I want to kind of have my goal is to get out there and show up and bring my fun that I love and showcase that
hmm
and make finals and showcase that. That's all I want to do. And so like if
Yeah.
I can and I think I could do that in contests. I don't have to teach. I think teaching's a whole different ball game. But if I were to teach, I would just want to teach fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah,
don't
yeah, yeah.
don't get me for any technical stuff. I'm just like, hi people, let's be weird and have fun dancing, you know? And but I wanna, that's why I like when I compete, I do my best to try and make sure I put in my moment of fun.
Mm,
And because I love, what is it? I love it whenever it's just whenever you can watch people dance and it just
mm,
you just get like you just love watching them and you're just like it's like a warm hug because you're just like, oh my god, they're just having so much fun and it just
yeah.
looks so good. And I want people to have that same reaction when they watch me dance of I want to do that because it looks like he's having so much fun. So
Mm,
that's my goal,
yeah.
my
Now,
overall goal.
I did do a podcast with Diego a couple of weeks ago, and he did bring you up, and he brought up like how he saw you do a routine and with
Oh
another
yeah.
couple that and none of you spoke the same language, but
Yeah,
that
the Mexican
routine like
couple.
had yeah, that routine had like such an impact on him. So can you walk me through that a little bit?
Yeah, yeah, that was awesome. So that was me and my partner Danny at the time. We had gone to Swing Break Mexico. It's a week-long event,
Mm-hmm.
and the hosts of it. So Kevin and Joe were like they were hosting, but also like with their Mexican counterparts, they were all hosting the event.
Mm-hmm.
And so you had a full mix of people traveling and Mexico and even people from South America, all sorts of people. That's where I got that Lindyhop Bogota jacket, and I need to go.
Uh-huh.
They actually sent me a message that was like, "Thanks for repping us" on Instagram after I competed with their jacket, and I was like, "Thanks for making an awesome jacket." But I need to go down there at some point because they did make an awesome jacket, but I've never been to Bogota. But
Mm,
yeah, so that was fun, and then getting to practice my Spanish was amazing. Um, and I don't know. Oh, you're multilingual. D-
mm,
um, when you learn a new language, um, I'm sure you've experienced this, but my experience was there's a moment when my brain clicks
mm-hmm.
and then I'm thinking in Spanish
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
speaking Spanish and I don't even realize it. And I was talking like it was like the end of the week. This was the second year I went to Swing Right Mexico. At the end of the week, I was like I can hear myself speaking in English and I'm thinking in English, but literally
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm speaking in Spanish. Oh my God, I'm speaking in Spanish. What the fuck? Like I was having that whole reaction, and my friends were like, because my friends, we were just like walking down to the beach and they were speaking in Spanish. And all of a sudden they asked me a question and I responded in Spanish without even thinking. And
Mm-hmm.
then they were shocked because they're like, wait, did you just answer us in Spanish? And I was like, did I? Oh my God, I did. And the whole time, like, it was one of those moments of pure joy of like, oh my God, I actually can communicate with you truly now, like one to one, instead of it feeling like I'm having to look at an encyclopedia or like, como se dice this word, como se dice, and then trying to fill in the blanks. But
Mm-hmm.
okay, that was a side note, which I need to practice my Spanish again because I love that
Mm,
moment. But they had they had performances and they didn't have like enough performances for every night.
mm-hmm.
So they asked people if people would like to perform, we have slots available. And I was like, that's when I was big into building choreography and doing a team. Like I had a team back home and I was like, okay, I'm gonna choreograph something. Danny, you want to do it with me? And she's like, all right, you choreograph it. All right, let's do it. And then we asked our friends, um, oh, can't remember their names either. Um, yeah, we asked two
Those
of our Mexican friends if they wanted to do it, and they were like, sure. So I built it, and then I taught it to them. Like, and our Spanish was so. This was not the year where the Spanish clicked for me. This was the first year, and
uh-huh.
so our Spanish was rough. Their English was rough, and we're trying to explain things to them, but it's actually perfect because I mean, I just show it and then they're like, okay, so this thing, and it's like, no, like a tuck turn. And they don't say tuck turn or whatever, but um it was amazing. So we taught them the routine that I came up with. It was like, so day one, I spent like 4 hours, I built a routine. Then I taught Danny, and then I taught them. And then we taught them together. And then we performed it the next day.
All within 48 hours?
Yeah, and it was like a 2-minute song. It was and it was coming up towards the end of the week. So it was like, this is the last day to do it. So let's just do it. It's gonna be great. Let's do it. And then I picked a great song. I like Teach the World to Sing. And then there's like a moment where the lyrics like hand in hand. And I was like, okay, we're all gonna be hands in hand. And they're all gonna like do the Charleston kicks together, like a little chorus kick line, because we're so happy hand in hand. Yeah, but that was a really great experience. They called us Los Gringas Picantes. We were the spicy whites or something, like white people, gringos. Um, yeah, it was great. And so yeah, so Diego was there. And so I guess yeah, that inspired him because that's I was inspired. I've been inspired. You watch all these YouTube videos and stuff and go see dancing live. And like my favorite was, Dax and Sarah. They
Mm,
had the I Like Pie, I Like Cake that they did at
mm-hmm,
ESC, European Swing Dance Championships, ESDC.
mm-hmm.
I think that's still one of my favorite videos. Like it's just so good. The choreography is so playful, such fun, creative, interesting ideas that they play with and connection and they just do some really fun shit. So yeah, so that's awesome that inspired Diego. That makes me feel good.
Yeah, man, yeah. I feel like your dancing does have that impact on a lot of people, whether they tell you or not.
Mhm.
I've had people come and tell me, they're like, "Oh, you know Benny?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." They're like, "Oh yeah, man, he's like a really great dancer. He inspired me." And I'm like, "Dude, that's fucking dope. I mean, that's freaking dope. That's awesome." Uh,
Goals. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to. Yeah, okay. All right. All
heck
right.
yeah. Now, before we go into the closing part of the podcast, is there anything else that you want to touch on that we haven't talked about yet?
I guess I didn't touch on Balboa.
Oh yeah, that.
I got I because I love saying it. So Jason Hammonds taught me how to do in and outs.
Yes.
I love name dropping this shit. It's great. We were sitting there you were there at Paul's 24-hour stream, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't fucking get Balboa. What the fuck? Like, I feel so rigid and so and Jason's like, nah, bro. It's like just chill, relax, and just bring your Lindy in it, but do it to an in and out. And he's just like gushy, gushy. And so like after that, my Balboa is just like, oh. And then
Mm,
because I relaxed into it, I was like, oh, just let it happen. And then I mean, but the Balboa scene down here is just insane.
yeah.
I took a private with Blake, and he taught me about rotation and how to work
Mm-hmm.
rotation in my dancing. And then I think the rest of it has just been me social dancing, um,
Mm-hmm.
and practicing with Ioana. So I'm gonna do Camp Hollywood with Ioana. I'm gonna do Shag, or sorry, Balboa at Camp Hollywood with Ioana, and then I'm gonna do Shag with Bianca, and then
Mm-hmm.
Bianca and I are also gonna do Am Lindy because we're on the air team, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and that's my triple threat. Just want to bringing it because I just want to show
Mm.
up and have fun and show some cool shit.
Dude, it would be, I will yell my face off if you podium on all three dances.
Nah, no, no, no. I'm not. I'm not Blake Thiessen. I wish that would be amazing. No, I want to make finals. I think I can. We'll see. I'm gonna try to final in whatever I'm doing is goal. You know.
Heck yeah, dude.
Oh,
Heck yeah.
you said you were mentioning that thing about that moment where everybody slapped me on the back.
Yeah. That
You
was
were
when you got first
you
place.
Yeah. First place mix and match Am Camp Hollywood. I was so surprised because I was just like, I was just social dancing. I don't know what I'm doing. Um, but it's so fun. Like that moment of hearing finalists being called out is
Uh-huh.
so much like there's so much emotion there because you're
Yeah.
anxious, you're like talking yourself down, you're like, it can't be me, it can't be me, there's no way, it's not good.
Yeah.
um but then secretly, you want it to be you, you're like, but please be me, I mean, but it can't be
Yeah.
me, but please be me, and so
Yeah.
like that's just the funniest thing ever to it's always such a weird moment because like some people are like, oh, you're totally the first place, dude, you're totally, and then I'm not first
Yeah.
place and I'm like, ah, and then and then sometimes it is true like this one and I'm just like, that's what the fuck, that's crazy.
Hmm.
um so it was just a big surprise. It felt good. It was a big surprise. I was like, this is cool. Yeah.
I
I
think
think
we go ahead.
no.
No, 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 you.
No. I was gonna say one other note.
No, say it because it's on that topic. Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna kind of a little detour, but I
Uh-huh.
think that didn't have as much impact on me. Like it was cool that I won, but I was like, I don't know, it's weird. I would rather not win. I would rather just be third, and then I can congratulate first place because I'm like, oh yeah, you slayed. But the moment that impacted me the most at Camp Hollywood was our Am Lindy.
Oh yeah, the comp.
That comp was nuts. I mean, from the start to the end of it, and we had the huddle, and we're all just jamming and like hyping each other
Yeah.
up. Like our emotions were like we're strung out, but then we're like, no, we're gonna have fun. Like that
Uh-huh.
was my
Uh-huh.
favorite intro into a contest. And in the contest, we just threw down, and it was so much fun.
Yeah.
And then you're fucking okay, everybody, we're gonna jump on. We jump on one,
Da 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 da. Ah.
a seven. I don't know. Yeah, that I mean that was just monumental, and like the moment was just so exciting and palpable and energizing, everything, And then coming off of it, like I was crying. I think you were crying.
I was crying too.
Yeah, I think we were both crying. We're just having a moment. I'm just like, this is just so much energy and
It's
emotion,
so
and
beautiful.
it's just so great.
Yeah,
that
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 was highlight
that
for sure.
that's the moments like I want that. I loved that. Like being on a podium, I don't need the podium. I need that moment. I need that
Mm.
experience. Are we gonna do that again this year?
I mean,
Are you gonna
that's
be, if you're not the first, I'm gonna, whoever's the first, we're gonna make them do it.
well, that's the hope. That's what Amy and I are working towards. But we'll see.
Nice. Yeah. Well, hopefully you guys will get it, and then we'll be me and Bianca will be up there with y'all. Hopefully. Let's see. It's gonna be tougher this year.
Hell of a lot tougher.
I think we're gonna have the competition is coming this year. So
Yeah, 100%. So, all right. So I think this goes into the final part of the podcast. So there are three questions I ask. The first question is, where can people find more information about you? Maybe they want to see like some of your dance videos, what you're doing. Where can people find that?
Facebook, YouTube.
There you go. Just look up Benny White
I,
on Facebook and YouTube.
I yeah. I think I want to say I'm not like a big social media person.
Mm. Uh-huh.
I think I just live for uh the videos of there's whenever iLate sees solo jazz video contest comes out, I'm gonna post my contest video because I'm like, oh my god, I did the thing and that was crazy. So I guess yeah, if follow me on Facebook and then you'll see my dance stuff, or Instagram.
Boom.
Oh no, okay, Instagram, the Benny Hop.
The Benny Hawk.
Yeah,
And
because
I'll put the information down in the description.
nice, because I do those West Coast shag videos with Bianca. West
Ah.
Coast shag. We just do it to pop music. We shag to pop music.
I mean, yeah, that's fun. The second question is, where are you traveling to for the rest of the year?
Camp Hollywood. Oh, before Camp Hollywood, Northwest Balfest, and then Snowball. And I bought a ticket, but I don't know if I'm going yet. Barcelona Shag.
Oh, nice.
I bought a ticket, but I don't know if I'm gonna make it. We'll see. Yeah. Maybe Great Lakes Balboa Escape. I'm not sure. It might be a little too much Balboa for me. We'll see.
Gotcha.
But I'll be out and about. But yeah, I'm stoked for Camp Hollywood. Camp Hollywood this year?
Oh yeah.
That'd be fire, dude.
Camp Hollywood's gonna be an amazing time for sure.
Hell yeah.
Now here's the last question that I ask everyone. It's my favorite one. The question is, what's a message you want to leave for any swing dancers that are currently listening?
Oh. Yeah, I would have left this for myself a long time ago, but stop brutally critiquing yourself and just let yourself have fun.
Stop brutally critiquing yourself and just let yourself have fun.
I don't know. That's still hard to do because I tell myself to do that every time, and it's still hard to do. But whenever I'm just like, whenever I do it, going into a contest is so much more comfortable when I'm just like, I'm just gonna have fun. It doesn't matter if I win or lose or if I hate my dancing. You know what I'm doing it for? Fun. And so doing that loosens me up, and it completely shifts my thinking of contests. And instead of being scared of a contest, I'm like, I'm going out there, I'm going to have fun. And I hope the people watching are going to have fun, because I think that's what's important to me. And that's what got me into dancing, seeing other people having fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's my fortune cookie.
I feel like that's a good fortune cookie for the dancers to listen to.
To eat. I'm going to listen to this fortune cookie.
They can nom on that one.
Nom on that one.
All right. Well, don't go anywhere after I stop recording. But for everyone else, the code word of today, if you made it to the end of the podcast, is just have fun. I think that's a good one.
Have fun.
Have fun.
Have fun.
Have fun. Just type that in the comment if you made it to the very end of the video. Super appreciate you all for listening. Benny, thank you so much for the time. Good sir.
Thank you, Andre.
Super appreciate you.
Thank you, good sir. Great.
And everybody else, don't forget to follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify. Rate us 5 stars. That does help us a lot. And don't forget, we are hosting an event this year. SoCal Summer Swing Out, June 13th to 16th of 2024. 2024. Yeah.
Oh, he scared me. I was like, we're doing it now?
No. But thank you so much, everyone, and goodbye. Thank you for listening. The music you are currently hearing is called Dances in the Night by Papa D. You can find all his links down below. Till next time.
Don't lose hope, trying to stand tall, trying to give this dance of yours the best that you got, cause every time that they hear this sound, that music gets their feet above the ground. Time just seems to stop in every move. Seems all your life what is based on tonight, and all you gotta do is do it right. You gotta move, you gotta move, you gotta move, move, move. Got to be a dancer.